Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's me again. I'm filming this on Saturday because it needs to be posted tomorrow, which is Sunday obviously. And I just randomly got a bit of free time with no one else in the house, so that's cool. I was gonna just not put up a video this week because I just didn't have time in the week to film it, but fortuitous, we have time now. This week, what am I talking about? This year so far, we're on the 22nd of February right now. I've completed 11 games. I can hear one of my neighbours. I've completed 11 games this year so far, which is pretty good going to be just in February, because last year I only started completing games around March because my dad was ill and things were happening and stuff like that. It might have even been after March. One of them I've completed twice, so technically 12 games, but it's 11 games because one of them's been done twice, and I got the platinum for it, so that's cool. I'm going to talk about that in this video. Two of them were not physical games, they were just digital. One was Sagebrush on PSN, which was really good, and the other one was Silent Hill: The Short Message, which was not very good. Completed that one last night. It took me about an hour and a half, but it was just really bad. I'll just talk about that one first, I guess. I'll put a picture here so you know what it looks like and what it is and stuff. It's basically a Silent Hill game that Konami put out. I think it was last year, but I could be wrong. It could be the year before. I really don't remember. And basically, you play as this girl called Anita, and she is trying to find her friend who, for some reason, said, meet me in this abandoned apartment building. I don't know, they call it a villa, but then it's like an apartment building. It's weird. And I guess I won't spoil it for if you do want to play it, but I just thought it was not great. I played it with my partner, but I played it, but he was sat there. Yeah, I mean, for a Silent Hill game, the tone was completely off. When I got into Silent Hill 2 by Bloober Team, Silent Hill 2 Remake, that, was like terrifying. Really scary. The sound design in it was absolutely perfect. Cat. You gonna sit there? You're not even gonna be in the video? The sound design in this one was just like, I could kind of see where they were trying to go with it, but it just didn't give me the same feeling that Silent Hill 2 did, so I didn't rate it scare-wise. I kept saying it wasn't scary. The story is extremely contrived, not very well put together. It makes sense, but it's very childish. Basically, this girl has this thing about like, oh, no one will ever notice me, and she keeps like looking at her phone and being like, oh, this other Twitter person, it's basically Twitter, has more followers than me, and then she keeps looking at it and being like, oh, more followers, and it's like, how old are you? Like, grow up. Yeah, I just didn't like it. The voice actress was not great either. It was very anime bad, but like, I don't know, it's hard to explain without giving any spoilers or anything, but it just didn't come across very well. And I wouldn't recommend it at all. Sagebrush, however, was a fantastic indie game. I can't remember who it was made by, but I'll put a picture and the person that made it here, and I fully recommend you go and play it. It's on PSN as well, and yeah, it was really good. The tone of that was fantastic. It's basically a walking sim horror, so nothing necessarily scary happens, but basically you're on a ranch and you're investigating these different buildings, like a church and a school, a rectory and things like that, and the idea is to go from one place to another, find clues, and put together the story and find out what happened. It's very dark, it's very true to life, it's something that can and has happened in real life, or can happen and has happened in real life, because it concerns religious cults and things like that in America. Basically, yeah, this cult, religious cult led by this one dude, were living on this ranch, and your job is to find out what happened and why they're not there anymore. I don't want to spoil it, so I won't, but it's like the most beautiful pixel art I've ever seen as well. I think I took some screenshots while playing, so I'll put some here if I did. Really fantastic game. The tone was absolutely on point. The music was brilliant, really nice, really loved it. The art was fantastic. The voice acting was good, it had voice acting. Everything made sense, it just fit together like a perfect little puzzle piece, and I completed it and platinumed it in a night, because in one playthrough you can get a platinum. So yeah, that was Sagebrush. I fully suggest it, especially if you're looking for quick and easy games to complete. It's a really good one, especially if you want to get a platinum. So yes, Sagebrush. Play Sagebrush. It's great. I'm not going to talk about all of the games that I completed this year already, because I've already spoken about some of them, like RoboCop and Sayonara Wild Hearts, and what other ones? Little Nightmares, Alice Madness, etc. So I'm just going to now talk about these four, and I'll get the PS4 one out of the way. Ratchet and Clank. I'd never played this game. I just never got it on release for some reason. My thing was I got a PlayStation 4 and I instantly played Infamous Second Son on it, and then I went to Bloodborne and things like that, and I never played Ratchet and Clank when I was a kid, so it never drew me in as like a nostalgia hit or anything. And I gotta say, I think I'm past the age of playing Ratchet and Clank and being completely drawn in and really enjoying it. Yeah, I just don't think it was for me. I'm gonna play Rift Apart because I have it on PS5, and I was looking forward to that one. Now I'm a bit hesitant, but I'm still gonna play it because I think it'll be a pretty easy game to complete in a weekend. Kind of same as this one was. I was playing this a little bit on and off, like an hour a night, and then I basically just decided to power through it, which I did. And some parts I did find fun. I really liked the parts with Clank, and I know a lot of people don't like that. People, I assume, prefer the bits like the shoot 'em ups and stuff with Ratchet and the 3D platforming, which again, I love 3D platformers, so I really did enjoy those parts. Some of the levels were okay. There were a few times where they just threw like hundreds of enemies at you at once, and you could just burn them all with a flamethrower if they were little enemies, but if they were like flying enemies, sometimes your gun for some reason would take like 10 or more shots to kill one flying enemy, and it's just like, why? They're throwing bombs at me and shooting me, and it was just annoying. There were bits where I would like die for what seemed like no reason, but it was just me not seeing what I needed to do. Like, there's these little things that if you jump, you can grab a hold of them. I don't know what you'd call them, like an anchor point, I suppose. Swinging. It's an anchor point. You swing across, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes I would just die because I didn't see them because they weren't that obvious. Especially because it starts off as like a little sphere, and then the closer you get, it becomes an anchor point, and I just didn't see it sometimes, so that was a little bit frustrating. But most of the time when I like fell or died, it just made me laugh. Yeah, it's very childish. It's just, I don't think, for me. The villain was the worst part. Well, I suppose he wasn't. It was like an antagonist, not like the villain, because the villain was at the end of the game, basically. I think he's called Captain Quark. It was just very childish. Most of the game I did enjoy, but there were parts that just completely burnt me out from it, and I was just not enjoying it at all. The final boss was weirdly frustrating. I did do it. I've completed it, obviously, but I can't necessarily say I was satisfied with it. Just because I was just thinking this is technically supposed to be, I guess, like a kid's game, a young teen game, and that boss at the end, if there's any kids that have beaten that, then fair play. Because it took me maybe 10 tries, possibly a few less, but yeah, it's not a game I think I'll ever play again. I'm considering trading it, but because I've been looking for like PS4 exclusives and stuff like that, I'm like a bit, I don't know whether to trade it or not, but it's also like, why would I keep a game I'm not going to play again because I didn't enjoy fully. If this is your kind of game, then I fully suggest it. There was good parts to it. Some of the dialogue did make me laugh, which was good. I'll show you the back as well, I suppose. There was definitely highlights and things I did enjoy. Some of the space, like sometimes you're in Ratchet's spaceship, and those parts were quite cool sometimes, though they were really awkward to get used to. The controls felt so backwards and things like that, not very intuitive. But overall, yeah, I mean, I'd personally give this probably like a 6 or a 5. I know it got higher than that in reviews. I don't know what it got, but I definitely know it will have scored higher because people absolutely love Ratchet and Clank, which is fair enough. That's all I can say, really. I've completed it. It's done. I can say I've finished a Ratchet and Clank game, and I will play Rift Apart at some point. So yeah, it was okay. Not great, but it was okay. Next, I'm going to give a little bit of love to Helldivers, and you're probably thinking Helldivers 2, and you're probably thinking, you finished that game? What do you mean you completed that game? Yeah, we got the platinum for this, and because it's an online game, a continuous ongoing online game, I'm gonna count that as completing it. I've put nearly 200 hours into this game. I already had about probably around 120 hours, and then we started playing with Scott Massey 83 on Instagram. Me and my partner Chaos Collecting on Instagram. Everyone's pictures and stuff will be here, but yeah. Helldivers 2 is a fantastic online game. For me, I never grew up playing COD or anything like that. So an online shooter where I get to kill bugs and aliens and robots is freaking awesome. It's one of the coolest games I think I may have ever played. It's one of the most immersive community games I think I may have ever played. The fact that the whole community basically is tasked with completing objectives called major orders, and you have your personal orders, which is just purely a you thing or something for your team. The major orders are generally things like, defend this planet for a number of days, which is basically you play matches on the planet and you push back the enemies and their advance. So, yeah, I mean, it's such a strange... Everybody that plays Helldivers 2 is completely immersed. You'll see a major order pop up on social media and be like, yo, I need to get on right now because I need to help my comrades and my teammates defend Super Earth, essentially. And I mean, I just don't have enough praise for this game. It is absolutely fantastic. It's one of the most fun online experiences I have ever had. And I have played a lot of online games, just not anything like COD or anything like that. I usually play Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Elden Ring, things like that online. Red Dead 2 online, Red Dead Online, it's really, really good. But this is just a completely different experience. And I think solo, it's fun. But it's not gonna carry you. If you want to play this and have a long-term fun experience, you have to find yourself a really, really good group of people to play with. That's why me and my partner and Scott have been playing together constantly since Christmas, because that's when Scott got it. And me and my partner weren't really bothered about going for the platinum, and then I don't remember who suggested it, going for random funny trophies, and then one of us was like, yo, we could potentially do the platinum if we wanted to, and we did, and it was really, really fun. Really, really good use of teamwork, because some of the missions, there's I can't remember if it's 10 or 11 difficulties in this now. It used to be just it go up to Helldive. It start off as easy, medium, challenging, hard, extreme, etc. And then they added Super Helldive, which we've not played so far. But yeah, there's one trophy where you have to complete an entire extreme mission with nobody in your team dying, and the point of Helldivers is if you die, they call down another Helldiver to replace you. You are essentially expendable. And yeah, I mean, that mission that mission was something else, because when we did it, we tried for a little while, and then when we eventually did it, it was hype. It was one of the best feelings I've ever felt, and I couldn't stand up after because I was that nervous and shaky. It's so stupid. But yeah, I mean, I think I've said enough now about Helldivers 2. I hope I have conveyed how much you should play this game, especially if you have a fantastic group of people to play with. Randoms can join your game as well, because obviously it's a 4-person game, but we play with 3 people, so we get random people joining all the time, and they're either good or bad. Some people will just kill you and try to steal all the glory and that kind of thing. But when you have a really nice group of people to play with, you just have the best online experience, and it's a game that should be played by everybody that really loves online cooperation. So yeah, Helldivers 2, got the platinum, technically completed it, so that's why it's on the complete list. Forspoken, the last time I spoke about this, I think I was on chapter 3 or something. I have since finished the game. I have bought the DLC because I loved the game that much, and I plan on going around in the world and finishing up in chapter 13, which is just the end game loop, basically, where the game doesn't end, you can carry on playing and completing side missions and little collectibles and things like that. I understand that when this game came out, it was met with a lot of criticisms that at the time were valid, because this game had a lot of issues, apparently, I don't know, I've not really experienced any issues. Apparently frame rate was an issue, lots of pop-in and things like that. If you don't know what popping is, I assume most of you do, but if you don't, it's where you are going through the world and you'll see in the distance trees and foliage and other things like buildings and stuff popping in. I've got to say, I experienced pretty much none of that. I don't remember any noticeable popping whatsoever, which is great. The only frame rate issues I ever experienced were when this game dealt really well with fire. A lot of games I play, including like Bloodborne and Dark Souls and things like that, really struggle with fire, frame rate wise. This game I had absolutely no problem with it. The only issue this game had was ice. There would be like ice wizards or whatever they were, firing ice magic at me, and it would tank my frames every single time. But other than that, I had no, what would you call it? No hardware problems, no issues like that whatsoever. I really enjoyed the story, despite some of the dialogue being a little cringe. I don't mind that as long as the story like pulls me in and the gameplay loop is really fun. Both of which, yes, I loved the gameplay loop. The traversal in this is so much fun. Basically, she has parkour powers, which sounds really silly, but she's good at parkour in real life, her real life. And when she gets like magicked up or whatever, she then has the. Do you remember in Second Son, when Fetch has that neon power, and it basically just helps her like go really fast and climb up stuff. That's essentially what this is. Except for when you're wall climbing in this, you're like jumping off the wall and like jumping up and things like that. At one point you get like a grapple as well, which you grapple onto something and it shoots you up further, because there's a few early areas where you can't get to, and I was like, why can't I climb up this wall? I don't get it. That's why, because you have to like defeat a boss and then you get their power and you can shoot up into the air. I think it's like a fire power or something. But yeah, overall the story in this was absolutely fantastic. It started off a little slow, can't lie. I can imagine that might have put people off back in the day and even now. But once the story really got going, I really enjoyed it. The chemistry between Frey and Cuff, this little dude, he's a bracelet essentially, and he's sentient. You'll see why when you play the game. If you play the game, fully suggest playing this game. But yeah, he's sentient. They start off. She's like, "What the hell? What you doing? Get off me!" Because yeah, she picks him up and he attaches himself to her arm and things like that. And then yeah, they have this enemies to friends, I guess, connection, and then other things happen, and there's a huge plot twist near the end, and I was like, not how do I word this? I didn't see this coming whatsoever, the plot twist, won't say it obviously, and then somebody said something, and I was like, that sounded a little off. They've never sounded like that before. I hope they're not the villain. You'll know when you play the game. I'm not going to spoil it, but I fully suggest Forspoken. And for the price now, I mean, this is like £8 in CEX. Can you even go wrong? A PS5 game for £8? There's the back. You go around the world of Athia, coming from New York. This game is absolutely worth £8, and if you haven't played it, or you're just refusing to play it, then honestly, you're just missing out on a great experience. It's fun, it's short, it took me 19 hours to complete, I think. It's fully worth your time. What else can I say, honestly? It needs to be experienced by you, rather than you hearing me talk about it through this silly little video. So yeah, Forspoken, play it. It's really good, and I really enjoyed it personally, and I wish we had gotten a sequel. So the DLC will have to do. The last game I want to talk about, and the only game in this pile that I've completed twice now and got the platinum for, other than Helldivers, which is just ongoing, you can't complete it multiple times, but I did get the platinum. But yeah, Martha is Dead. Yeah, wow, Martha is Dead, what a game. This one's really difficult to talk about, just because it's like, I don't want to spoil anything. You should absolutely buy this game. I think I got it for £13 on Amazon on sale, and I think it's only like 16. You should absolutely play this game. Wow, it's such an experience. I went into this thinking like, this is gonna be scary. It is. It's pretty spooky. It's gonna be like jump scary. It's gonna be a horror. Blah blah blah, and it is, but it's more of a walking sim horror. It's basically you play as Julia, Believe it or not, Martha, Julia. They are twin sisters, and at the very beginning of the game, this isn't really a spoiler, as Martha is dead. Martha dies, and Julia, being her sister, a twin sister, wants to figure out essentially what happened to Martha. Julia likes hanging out at a lake that's on her property, and she loves photography and things like that. So while she's taking a picture, she sees Martha's body floating in the lake. So she runs down to see who it is, and sees that it's her twin sister. So obviously she's absolutely distraught. And then from there, pretty much your family they're always like not on the property, so it's mainly just you, and you basically have to go around the property, take pictures of things, develop the photos, and work out what the heck happened to your twin sister. And it is an absolutely phenomenal game. I don't usually finish a game and then go, I'm going to immediately play that again and get the platinum. It's not usually my thing. If I want to get a platinum, I usually wait until I've finished a game, dump it off for a while, and then I go back to it a little later, and then I go for the platinum. Unless it's like an online game. Like when I got Bloodborne's platinum, I was just playing it a lot, and that's how I got it. It was just constant playthroughs. With this, I finished the game and then started up another playthrough straight away, because I love it that much. I'm still thinking about it. I played it 2 days ago, and I played it yesterday, and then I'm still thinking about it. I kind of want to play it again already. I'm not going to, because that's unhinged. I don't need to play it again, but it is extremely, extremely enjoyable. The music in this, I don't like to go on about things, but man, the music in this is absolutely phenomenal. There are some freaking bangers in this. From like just music score stuff to ambience to like actual singing, things with words. It's just really, really good, and I'm struggling to find the words to describe it, because what I want to do is talk about literally everything, but I don't want to do that. I want you to go away, and I want you to buy this game or download it from somewhere, because it could be on PSN, on the catalog or whatever for free. I don't know, but you need to find a copy of this game and you need to play it, because there's nothing that I can say that will convey just how good it is. And I've seen some bad reviews for this, maybe because the story is like kind of complicated in certain places, and you could get to the end like me and my partner did and still be a little like, huh? But upon the second playthrough, everything just made sense. And that's fully not the game's fault. There were parts that I was tired when we were playing, so maybe I just wasn't like properly listening and taking things in. But there's so many different ways in which this game could be interpreted as well, which again is not the fault of the game. It's just like, it depends how you play it, how you see what happens, and what kind of person you are, I suppose, in the way you think about things. But yeah, I'm just struggling to put together a good way of saying you should play this game without saying you should play this game. I would say don't be put off by the horror aspect if you're not a horror person. There's people that follow me on Instagram. Follow my Instagram, collector_catharsis, who are too scared to play horror games. Retro Gamer Dan, I'm looking at you. But I would say just don't let it put you off. It's not a jump scary horror. I think my partner got jump scared once, and it was because a bomb dropped. This game is set in Italy in World War II. So, there's planes flying over at certain points and bombs dropping and things like that. But there's no actual, like, other than gore, because there is gore in this, and there's an option to skip the gore scenes, but if you press skip, it'll, like, fade out, go to black, skip the gore, and then it, like, pops up, but there's still, like, gore on the screen. It's strange. If you're really susceptible to gore and things like, how do I say it without getting my video taken down? Really sensitive subjects to do with mental health and harming oneself, then maybe stay away from this, because it may trigger you, and I don't want to suggest a game that will trigger you. But if you're not, really, really terrified of just like being in the dark or whatever, then I would say absolutely play this game. It's well worth your time. It's worth at least 2 playthroughs, in my opinion. Yeah, just it's an incredible game, and the voice acting and in general in this is really really good. Not just from Julia, but from the mom and her dad and other people as well. There's points where you get to have various phone numbers and you can just ignore them if you want, or you can ring them. So we we rang all the phone numbers as well. We did everything in this game that it was possible to do. Yeah, really really fantastic game, and I'm glad that I finally played it. Because I have had this on the radar for a long time and I just never picked it up until recently when I saw it really cheap and thought, screw it, I'm going to play it. So I did, and it was fantastic. Absolutely. Play this game. This should be just next on your list. And even if you don't have a copy, go buy one. It's great. And this is cool, actually. I got it from Amazon, and it came with other things. Came with some stickers. Which... oh, there we go. And it came with... not going to show you the code, which I am extremely just susceptible to doing. Came with this poster, which is of Martha and Julia together, and it says Martha is dead. And on the back is it's okay to not be okay, and Safe in Our World, which I assume is a mental health charity or something. So that's just a really cool thing for them to have added, basically. Yeah, I wish I could have explained this one a little better, and I wish I hadn't gone on so much, but it's just a really, really, really good game. Really thought-provoking is a really good way of putting it, because it's still on my brain. Really dark, really, really dark themes. Supernatural, so if you like supernatural horror, then it's probably for you. Yeah, just a really, really, really good, solid game. Great indie game. Who did this? I don't know, I can't read it. Wired Productions and something else. That company. Well done them. Very good. Fantastic game. More of this horror, please. Not Silent Hill, The Short Message, because that was awful. Terrible, contrived, bad tone. All just bad. This was just brilliant. And if you take one thing away from this video, even if it's not held out as Forspoken, this one. Play this game. It's fantastic. That's it. Those are the... technically 7, I suppose, including the digital games. Games that I've completed so far this year, not including the other ones that I've already spoken about. There's just one other thing. I'm about to start Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I played Kingdom Come Deliverance years ago now. God, I don't know I think it was like a year maybe after it released or something. And it was an incredible game. I unfortunately didn't finish it because I got completely hard locked out of one of the main story missions, and it's a very long game, so I never ended up restarting it. I do want to, but I've just been... the thing about Kingdom Come Deliverance, the first game, the combat in it, you need to level so much to get anywhere near decent at the combat, and that's why I put so many hours into that game. It was fantastic. And when I saw that this was being released, or like it was coming... it was like a couple of years ago now where they announced it, I think, I was so excited. And I've heard that this one is a lot more accessible for people. So even if you haven't played any of the first game, probably pick this up when it goes down on sale or something. I got it day one because my partner bought it me for Valentine's Day, because I did say I wanted it, but it wasn't like a hint hint. I just mentioned it. We talk about games all the time and stuff like that. There's the back. Basically, you play as a guy called Henry. In the first game, you start off in this little town. It's a Renaissance, like, medieval type thing. And your town, family town, gets burned down and your parents are murdered. And then this is obviously the follow-on. I don't know really what happened at the end of the first game because obviously I was hard-locked and I couldn't finish it. But, I don't know. My assumption is that he becomes somewhat of a royal figure or a higher-up figure, as he started off as a peasant teen in a town. But yeah, this is my next big game. I'm really, really looking forward to getting into it, especially if it's more accessible, because the combat in the first one was, whew. It would be enough to put other people off, definitely, because my friend at the time was playing it, and then they just got too frustrated with the combat, basically, and couldn't be bothered, which is fair enough. It was a pretty difficult game. But yeah, I've just been so excited for this one, and I can't wait to play it, and I'm really, really happy to have a copy. Oh my god. I'm really, really happy to have a copy. There's the inside. Not that you need to see it. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, that's the next big game. Me and my partner are going to play House of Ashes tonight, Dark Pictures Anthology. So I'm really looking forward to that too. And then we'll play The Devil in Me after that as well. And oh my god, what was it? The State of Play announcing a new Dark Pictures game that's set in space. Absolutely incredible looking. Can't wait for that. Really, really hope it's good. Yeah, I'm going to cut the video now. I need to go edit it and stuff. Hope you enjoyed it. Wish I could have put into words just how good Martha is Dead is, because wow, it's incredible and it should be played and it needs to be experienced firsthand. It's not something I can explain anyway, because without the story beats that I would need to talk about, what would be the point? So yes, the takeaway is go play Helldivers Forspoken, but most of all, Martha is Dead, because it's brilliant. Yes, I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you want to, would really appreciate it. Trying to work my way up to the 100 subscribers just because it's a fun, nice little milestone. Follow my Instagram if you haven't already. I upload daily gaming posts every single day, and that's about it. I appreciate you being here. Have a good one. See you later.